Hi everyone, this is Angela from Tarot as Art. Good morning. It's a beautiful public holiday here in Melbourne, Australia, and I'm going to spend the afternoon probably watching a horse race for a short while, but I'm doing a workshop in a couple of weeks at Spellbox, and we're covering the Major Arcana, and that's what's inspired this video today. I thought, why don't I just look at some decks I have that are just Major Arcana decks, and there are a few of those around. And I believe they're good for daily draws when you try and draw 3 cards and maybe look at your challenge for the day and how to manage that challenge. So that's relaxing for me. So I thought, what should I do that's relaxing this morning? And I thought, well, why not shoot a video on my some decks I've got behind me here, and we can go through them and see look at the archetypes and how they're represented. So join me, spend some time with me, and I'll flip the camera. Good day, viewers. I've flipped the camera around. I've got my trusty tea, herbal tea. And maybe we can make a start. And although it's only Major Arcana decks, I'm going to go through all the cards in all the decks. I'm only really going to go through 1, 2, 3, 5 decks, but with me, it may take a while. So let's start. And I guess what started the journey, there's 2 things that have started this video, and 12 major decks. 12 Major Arcana decks. One is I am running a workshop in November 23rd for those in Melbourne at Spellbox. I'm doing a 3-hour workshop on the archetypes and the Major Arcanas for beginners really, but a refresh if anyone's interested in looking at it through a different lens. And I guess the lens would be, we're going to go through the deck as if you don't know the deck, obviously, but also how to look at the deck and go through the whole journey. So that's inspired this sort of journey today, apart from the fact that I did get a new deck recently, and it'll give me a chance to showcase it. It is this deck, the Tarot Schematique by Katogram. And what a delight it is. And I think Masha got it on her channel, and I looked at it and I thought, I really like that sort of, I vibe with that artwork. So let's have a look at the deck. And we'll start with that one, I guess. And I hope you don't switch off after that one, because I've got some nice decks, as you all know. Today's a public holiday, so I'm not going to ask the cards because in Melbourne we have 2 public holidays for sporting events, and one is a horse race today and another is the football. So that's the Katogram. These are gorgeous. They're not that big. I love the size because I've got tiny hands. Here's my business card. Like, I don't show enough, but I don't like being close up to the camera, so I sort of put it in the way so you don't see my whole face too close up. Who wants that? So that's a normal business card size. So you can see they're a tad bigger, but I love it. And they're sort of very papery and very shuffleable. So perhaps I'm showing them on this piece of, yeah. And they've got that abstract sort of quality to them that a lot of my Italian decks from the 70s have, which I love. And it's sort of like watercolours on paper. Look at the papes cracked open, eh? The mystery's cracked open. Keeper of the secrets. Empress, circular, feminine. Emperor, sort of phallic. Pope. Coming from the waters. The Lovers. The Chariot. Victory. Justice, structure, reason, computers, Every time I see squares, I just think of that. The Hermit. Looks feminine for a change. Nice. Getting the wisdom, I think. Here, it's just easier to point to it. The Wheel. Again, the squares. And that's strength. Maybe strength in the mind, not the body. The Pendu, which is the Hanged Man. We'll get back into that, I think. I've got the Golden Wirth out there, so we'll have a look at that there for those who like the Wirth Tarot. I think that's always a controversial one. Death, 13. Again, Temperance with the squares. Balance, the reason of balance. The Devil. La Maison Dieu, the House of God. It looks like it's struck by the full moon here, the blood moon. I think it's a very cerebral deck in that it speaks to the mind. I think that's when you go circular and you can't stop with your thoughts. And I get a lot of clients who, you know, have repetitive thoughts they can't manage. The Star, probably my favourite card in this deck. I don't usually have favourites because I like so many things, but I do love that card. La Luna. I'll come back to this deck. I'll do a spread at the end with it, I think. Or we'll pick a card because I haven't even done an interview spread with this, so I'll do a shuffle and a card pick. The Sun. And again, structure with a square. Judgment. We raise. We're raised. The Tree of Life. It's gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Le Monde. There's some gorgeous decks out there. I mean, this is, you know, the watercoloredness. I love the washy aspect to it. So I'm going to put that back. But that is a gorgeous Paris 2024. It's a gorgeous deck. They're the backs. I hope you can't hear the butterbox. I don't think I'm going to edge it. I don't know. I don't know about the stock in terms of how it would take the colour of anything. So I'm going to keep these unedged. It's hard. But I'll put that back and it'll come back out later. Well, speaking of the Wirth, I might as well do the Wirth. This is a Golden Wirth. Los Scabareo bought this out. I don't know. I got it this year, I think, actually. And why not? I can't resist gilded decks. And I've just subscribed to Total Tarot Australia because we finally got that here. I don't know how long it's been here for, but and because it's got the Golden Art Nouveau big version, so who knows how many card decks I'll get and what they're going to be like. But I watched a few reviews and I was not unimpressed. So here we go. See, I don't know, can you see it shimmering? It's just gorgeous. And I really like doing 3 card reads with just the Major Arcana, especially daily spreads, like what's my challenge type of spreads. What can help me? What do I need to release or forget about? The Battleur. See, that's the thing with the Mercier deck. So when you're sort of learning tarot, you can learn the Rider-Waite special. Yes, that's what I'll be teaching because I think it's genius. and interesting, and the best mass market deck of ever. But sometimes you need the battler here in terms of the Marseille tradition, because the magician in that deck, he does look like a, you know, he is a manifester. It is about will. It's got a lot of positive spins on it. Sometimes you do a business spread for somebody because you get a lot of clients in the store. You know, every day someone asks about a business, their business, or who they're working for, their managers. And when you get the magician, it does still have the connotations of the Marseille too. The sleight of hand, the idea that someone could be manipulating you, and, you know, doing that sort of sleight of hand that you get, you know, where's the little ball under which one. So you get that aspect here of the trickster, really. More so in this deck than the Rider-Waite, which I think is more like the High Priestess. So we've got the Papess here with her yin and yang. I wore it today too. How odd. I didn't even think about that she had it on. I didn't think about it. I'm not even sure I've really noticed it. But she's got the veils and she's got the veil. It's quite a gorgeous card. The Empress. The Emperor. The Pope. The Lovers. He's got the two lovers and the angel there, or Cupid, ready to sting. The Chariot, getting victory through the sphinxes, the riddle, solving the riddles. Justice. And she's chained to justice. I think that's significant here. That chain is there, just like it is in the Devil. But here it is too. What's right? And she's got the Sword. The Hermit. Look at his face. He's like, you think you know? Let me tell you something. Let me show you something different, as T.S. Eliot wrote in the poem. From the shadow that rises to greet you in the morning, to the shadow that leaves you, I can't think of the quote exactly, in the evening. It's from The Wasteland. The Wheel of Fortune. There's the Sphinx again. The Caduceus, the Wheel. She's beautiful. I love this peaceful look on her face. And I love the lemon skate here. And sort of like the scales of the snake that keeps rebirthing into something better, something new, elevating. And you've got the alphabet here, the Jewish alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet. She's 11 here, not 8. 12, Le Pendu. So there's a lot with that card. See, if you know some of the history too, it helps you when you read, rather than just read, oh, this is the meaning of the Rider-Waite, of seeing in a different perspective, or something, you know, in terms of guidance. Don't take action, have a look from a different point of view, sit still. You may have to sacrifice something. There's also, I think, other meanings. And I think with this, the Pendu, I think they were hung up in village squares to hang upside down, to shame them, because they'd done something wrong that perhaps they couldn't be they did something morally wrong, perhaps not illegally wrong, that they couldn't be captured for. So they would, this is a sort of form of punishment, hanging off the tree like that. And again, you get the two, always you get the two pillars, because wisdom, there's wisdom through that. But maybe the card also speaks to shame. And when you do shadow work, or when you talk about people and you try and get to what's driving them, or what's driving them to make irrational decisions, or reacting, not responding to things, it could be shame that they carry, and they may want to talk about it, and often they do. I find people in tears constantly. The unnumbered card and the unnamed card with death. Keeping with the Marseille tradition. And of course, because if you speak it, it may come. So my mother used to say that too, not to say, shh. If you speak it, it may come. So it's like a spell when you do spells. Temperance. The devil. Maison de Dieu. The star. And here she's got the water in the intuitive part, nurturing that, I think, and nurturing the earth, nurturing mind, body and spirit. The sun. So when we say, show me, I don't want to see your cards, I want to see your practice. Well, your practice comes out through showing your cards, because you're talking about how you work. So there is, Astral Lady, I think, is saying that. And sort of part of that journey is, yes, I'm showing the cards, but we also speak to how we would do a spread, and how we speak to our clients. The sun. So we're always going to show our cards or our decks, especially the collectors like me. Why not? Judgment. Le Monde. Not that I think she means anything negative. Of course she doesn't, but showing your cards doesn't necessarily mean I'm not talking to you about my practice, or showing me how I practice. And we can do a spread at the end. And that's the book, which I like. And of course it's got, you know, it's got some notes there you can put in, and it's got all the languages, you know, the Los Scarabeo special of that. So we'll put that away. If I do get my Total Tarot magazine, when I do, I'll show you, and we'll work through it together. So that's the Golden Wirth Tarot. The other Major Arcana, which has to be probably one of my, all of these are my favourites, I've got to say, so I'm not going to pretend, but Leonora Carrington, I think I've shown this before. This is the Tarot of the Major Arcana. This is the fantastic little book that comes with it in colour, satiny finish, not glossy. And sort of velvety interior. Beautiful box. You can buy the additional book that comes with it. From Fulgur Press. That is from Fulgur Press. I didn't get mine from Fulgur Press. I got mine. I got a version which is a little bit different from theirs, from my local bookseller here in Albert Park in Melbourne. And it's brilliant, and the quality is just outstanding. It's massive, and it's got influences, the cards, the whole thing. So highly, highly recommend it. And here they are. And I love the fact that there's sort of, each card has a monochrome to it, and it looks sort of stenciled, and it's gentle. It has variation in colour. I don't know if it's coming out, but there's teals and browns and blacks. I mean, the Emperor there looks a little bit dastardly doesn't he? He's got his little Aries ram's heads. And the unk. But look at the face. He's sizing up his kingdom. And probably the kings that serve him. Because he's an emperor. He can't do it all. The Hierophant. The three wise men. The lovers. It's an odd lovers, isn't it? Because you've got here, you've got the Cupid, and you've got him sort of with his hands pointing towards her, and her touching him, and her calling him back. And he's sort of that's an interesting hand gesture. Is he appeasing here? It's a fascinating card, that card. The Chariot. Gorgeous Justice card. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. The Hermit. Perhaps because they have to show the light to everybody. Looking for guidance or getting weighed down by guiding. Depends how the cards fall, so how you read the cards. Wheel of Fortune. Strength. One of my favourite strength cards ever. The Lemnis Gate. Just the look on that lion's face, and then you've got that sort of the snake. I mean, it's just a massive thing she's trying to control here. A massive monster. And yet she's white and pure, and that's what's probably giving her the energy and the courage, you know, to continue. And that, like, you know, so when I teach the cards, and when I do the cards myself, I look at the archetype of the card, and this is strength. And we may want to embody the card. So you may want to sort of do a tarot size or an exercise that says, you know, let's talk about courage. What areas in your life do you think you need to show more courage? And we talk about, you know, how that sits with you. And when you ask those questions of yourself, inevitably looking at the cards, you ask them of the querent or the client when they pop up in a spread, especially if you're doing, you know, all spreads are about challenges. The Hanged Man, Death, Temperance, beautiful, just beautiful colour scheme. I think just the colours themselves, that just makes you feel healed and peaceful already. The gold and silver, the alchemy. And of course we've got the blood red, you know, devil here. And the Tower again, we have the red. The Star, which is gorgeous. I love that card. I just love the colours, the blues and the golds together, and the beautiful white borders. The Moon. The Sun. I must get the Dali card that looks like that. There is a card with Dali's deck that this, I think, really reminds me of. Although I think Dali, I think she did her deck in the mid-1950s, 1955, and I think he did his deck. The original deck was done in the early 70s, although, and so I'm not sure, they were both surrealists, so I don't know what the influences they had on each other, if they did. But, you know, Dali's you know, he's a scoundrel, we know. Judgment. And it's just the aquas and the greens, and the colours are unbelievable. I think this rendition of this deck is unbelievable. And again, here we've got the World and we've got the full elements showing very brightly. And it looks like a Byzantine mosaic in a funny way, with that shape and the way that pose is. And it's in that beautiful aqua sort of colour. So it's just absolutely brilliant. It's an absolutely brilliant deck. So I think we'll move on to the next one. And hopefully you won't hear too much noise from outside, which is good. So I'll put that away. And then we can move on to, well, the next one I want to move on to really, and I think we've got one more after this, is the Tantric Dakini Oracle by, you know, Penny Slinger, the 1970s classic, because I don't think a lot of people realise that, I think a lot of people realise it's just an oracle deck, but it's not an oracle deck. I mean, it is an oracle deck. It's massive, as you can see. Again, there's the book. I think the book's okay. It's got 2 sections. I've just divided them for the sake of this. So people forget, I think the first part of this is the fact that, I'll just do that. The first part of the deck is the Major Arcana, and it can be oracles. And the second part of the deck is, I'll show you quickly, is the rest of the oracles with ancient Egyptian symbols. And it's, I think, one of the very first oracles that are collage style, which I love. There's Shiva, the pillar of fire, destroyer. And the chameleon, just passing through. So that's all the rest of it's just a brilliant oracle. I think it's probably one of the best oracles ever made. I don't think it's still surpassed, but I think here, why don't we look at it like, you know, these are Major Arcana cards, and let's deconstruct them. People do forget, because they've also, there's a lot of the names have been changed, so people don't, you know, readily identify it unless you read the book or have a good knowledge of it. So we've got, here we go with the hermit, the hermit. Oh my goodness, the Fool. And then she's got him here as the Joker. And I guess, you know, he starts at 0, so maybe he's a joke, but then he goes through all these archetypes here. I think this is a perfect picture that explains that. All the faces and all the architect and everything he embodies in terms of the deck and what he conquers and what he then understands. And so here we've got the maze of that, and we've got, you know, the element of, I guess, chance and luck, knowledge, stumbling onto knowledge, the world. And that just looks like pearls to me. Pearls of wisdom, maybe. And he's got sort of astro things in his arms, like, and then that's sort of got that sort of world view from the moon, or the earth looking at the moon, but from a spaceship type of viewpoint. So I love that card. I think it's a great deck. And the, you know, Mercury being the magician, and it's got the caduceus here. So here it speaks to healing and speaks to, it speaks to a lot. It speaks to the fact that you've got the poison and the antidote both in one, and we've got the ability to create magic, potentially heal ourselves. Just a gorgeous looking card. And then you've got the High Priestess here again, and she's out of this world in the stars, completely removed from earthly things and in the spiritual realm, and she's got a moon crown and a third eye happening here. And it's Isis. And Isis, I guess, was the lover of Osiris as well. I think she had to put his body back together after it was ripped apart to heal him with her love. I think that's part of their story. I think it's a longer story. And here we've got the Empress, and it's the Scarlet Woman. I love that. Love the eyes, love the red. I love the earthiness of it, and I think that they're a great complement to each other, because one is very physical and one is very metaphysical. And I think they do that nicely. And why, the Scarlet Woman? Well, I guess she's 3. So she's the third. Or the first. But it's 3. So she's got all 3 things to think about. Mind, body and spirit. But 3 is also the number of growth and expansion. 4, the hot seat, which is the Emperor. Yes, it's burning him. He could burn, but he could burn brightly or he could burn out. He's an Aries. Ganesh. Okay, so we've got the Hierophant or the Pope as Lord Ganesha. The Lord of Obstacles is caught in a spider web. Isn't he? I mean, here it is. It's just a fascinating rendition of him. I think he comes out of, there's a bit of violence in his birthing or his background of what creates him. But he's a lord of obstacles, but removing those obstacles. But he's stuck in the spider web himself. Perhaps his understanding. The Lovers is the wish-fulfilling gem. Yep. Who doesn't like that? And I guess, you know, we have a look at that card very closely. There's a lot in it. The preciousness of love and how you teach love and learn love. Who knows love and who doesn't know love? Do you see love? Do you know it to see it? Do you know it to see it? Is it rare like a gem? Conditional, unconditional. 7, okay, the Chariot. See, this is where, you know, people who don't know the deck may not realise it is a Major Arcana deck. So 7 is the cremation ground meditation. So when you get 7 is usually the Chariot. So you're drawing your horses or your sphinxes or yourself to victory through your will. But perhaps there's a price to be paid. Perhaps you have to, there's some bodies that you have to walk over or create or decreate to get there. So it's, it may be a violent in terms of emotionally violent journey as well, and what you need to do to win, because it's a card of winning. It's a card ruled by Cancer, a cardinal sign, and going forward. And what are the costs of the wins? Because when there's wins, there's loss as well. And what are you sacrificing along the way? Very interesting card for victory, which is how that card is known. But it's a victory with it's a struggle. It's not straightforward. 8, Living Goddess. So for me, this sits here with justice rather than strength, I think. Just because of the, just where she's seated and where she's placed and where she's looking out from. It looks like something more formal. But I'll see what 11 is. So I think 11 here, self-created. So justice or strength here, I would call that strength, self-created. So let's put that back. So that to me sits as justice. So it's keeping with the older tradition, the Marcier and the Thoth. Way through 9 is a Hermit. So the Hermit is the key, really, to the the Fool. I keep calling the Fool the Hermit. It's interesting, to the Fool's journey of understanding, of going within and unlocking all these, all the things that he needs to know, may hold him back and may push him forward. The Wheel of Great Time. Because time is the thing. You don't stay on top forever and you don't stay on the bottom forever, do you? And here we go. I think this is strength, self-created. Strength because the lotus, you know, develops from the mud and the crap that it lives in, and develops something beautiful from that. So it has the ability to transform and transgress its own society and its own boundaries, almost forming the beauty and the strength. Like a pearl needs grit in the oyster shell to culture it. Slay the ego 12, so that's the hanged man, hanging upside down, shamed by everybody. I mean, that's what shame is about as well, because your ego can't operate in shame. We do need the ego sometimes just to let us get through the day to day, but there's advice on this one. Death and Transfiguration 13, that's similar to what we see nowadays, nearly every card. The transfiguration of the death card is transfiguration and not the unnamed, unnumbered, feared card. Temperance, which is the puja, purification. Correct, very good. The alchemical, the waters, the angel. I think it's Archangel Michael in the classic RWS. Balancing out the waters and purifying, cleansing, turning into gold. It's gorgeous with the daisies. I like that card. Yes, well, that's right. Let's make a friend of the devil. The ally. Question your allies. Or make a friend with the devil part of yourself. Unleash it. Get it out of the shadows. So you can integrate. So we get to Carl Jung, individuation, of letting all the shadow come to the light and being in balance with ourselves and our society, really. And that's to the collective as well, to the collective unconscious. Because fear is the great enemy. I mean, fear is the devil as well. Just getting up through the day with anxiety. I get so many people that just tell me, you know, they sit down and I said, oh, are you anxious about the reading? And I'm sort of spraying the room or trying to use some Palo Santo or something to calm them down. And, oh, I run like this every day. And then we talk of fear and anxiety. That's what the devil is. We need to understand ourselves, make friends with the little things that can become very big things that torment us. So the Holocaust, which is the tower, obviously. And the third eye's just come into its own because it's just blasted all the fake world that you're probably inhabiting, and also the house of cards you've built on an unsolid foundation. Eventually you'll find yourself just, you know, at a point where you're just blasted. Like someone out of an aeroplane or someone out of a building. Where you have an emotional tower moment. After, you know, having your dark night of the soul. And then you get hope, okay, in the form of the star, which is the island of jewels. Beautiful. And it does remind me of the star card that often the Mythic Tarot uses, with Pandora opening the box of jewels and hope being the last thing that doesn't fly out. When she opens up all the ills and they go, so hope remains. The moon, a mushroom. Toxicity, anxiety. The sun, phoenix, rebirth, warmth. Beautiful. I just love this deck. I just love this deck. It's just so much. You can, and the Major Arcana is in this is brilliant. Death, transformation. Sorry, transformation. Well, it could be transformation. I see that more in the death card than the judgment card, but this is judgment. And I guess we're transformed or rebirthed into something more spiritual when we're resurrected, let's say, because it is the resurrection card. And here we've got the yogi sort of sitting in the middle of it. And the snake shedding its skin because it's, you know, it's about to go on another journey. And we've got earthbound for the world. And that could be someone on the moon looking at the world, or at the world looking at the moon. And don't forget the moon landing and the images from the moon. And this is late 1970s, had come from, you know, the late 19... They'd only been around 10, 11 years. We'd never seen the Earth from those sort of perspectives before, on mass consumed like that through the television. So you've got this cosmic energy, and also, you know, the rebirthing and the going through the journey that the hero goes through. Beautiful journey of enlightenment. I do love this deck. Absolutely love it. So that's the Tantric Dakini by Nick Douglas and Penny Slinger. And, I mean, what's the first year of publication? 1979. Okay, and I guess the last deck I want to look at today, I hope I haven't taken too long because this is supposed to be sort of a quickie. So, I just had to have another drink. The last deck is Mike Wilcox, Tarot and Oracle. And when he says Tarot, he only means the Major Arcana. So we can open it. It's just, look at it. It's a very nice... It's just gorgeous, actually. So that's the sort of slidey boxing it comes in. And then I haven't gone through this book, to be honest. I haven't read it or written notes, but it's because it's so nice. It's all gilded. But I will. I want to give it some character. So mantras, reflections, and it's just, you know, hardbound, gorgeous thing. And then we've got the cards in here. Now, again, as with Penny Slinger, it's an oracle deck that's got more in it than just the Major Arcana, but it does stick to the traditional Major Arcana. So I think I actually was organised and tried to order these things. Yeah. So then what you've got with this is you've got the rest of the deck is like, you've got all the astrological, like a Minchiati. You've got all the astrological signs. And then you've got this beautiful oracle that comes after it. So just quickly, just absolutely stunning. How would I describe the art style? It's sort of Art Deco meets 1960s groovy culture, meets ancient Greek and Egyptian myths. But there is an Art Deco-ish quality to it, just in terms of its harmony. Just, there's the yin and yang again. Can't believe I wore that today, and I saw it twice. I wouldn't remember it. The spider, where's Lord Ganesh? The fountainhead. The labyrinth. Just, it is gorgeous, but I won't go into that because we're just going to do the 12 today. So I'll put that to the side. So here we are. Let's have a look at these now. So here we are with a Fool. I love that. And a lot of symbolism in the card. He's cracked open here. The egg. The pyramids. Mystery. He wants victory. He's climbing because he's ascending to a better place. Psychically, emotionally, everything. The Wizard, which is the magician. And he's got all these tools. And all the colour schemes, I love it. And all the elements. It's a very gentle sort of palette too, because it has got this creamy background, not a white background. And then you've got the High Priestess in all her moon glory here, and the pomegranates. And a sort of sea creature things. And the moon at the back there, and she's in that, you know, the mysteries. the Empress. It's very starry Empress, but again, she's got the stars and yeah, the counterparts here really, because they're pointing upwards. I always like to look at similarities in cards and how they're different in their similarities. The Emperor. Interesting that he's not bright red and he's in the black. And there he is with all these little symbols around him. And again, we've got the number scheme. The Hierophant, the knowledge, the spiritual knowledge. There's a lot of symbolism in the cards. My favourite probably Lover's card. Ever. I think it's gorgeous. I just love the colour scheme and everything. See, you know, if that came up in a spread, I wouldn't really talk about choice. I would bring it up, but it doesn't focus me on choice. It focuses me on the topic itself of love, the love of two people, and how it binds us. The Chariot. Again, you know, the total opposite to Penny Slinger's card, isn't it? This is the nobility of victory and how you would feel. And you're holding the globe in your hands, and you got the four horses, and it could be the 4 horses of the apocalypse even. There's a sunniness to that card, and the ease, strength, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune with the beautiful Greek patterns. Justice. Again, one hand up, one hand down. As above, so below. And she's got fire coming out of her sword, so that it's inescapable. The Hanged Man. Looking at things differently. Taking time out. Death. And then we have the Butterfly transformation. There's the Temperance. Interesting. She's not blending. She's got waters here and got waters here, and she's in the water there. It's a contemplation card. That looks more like a choice card than the Lovers. The Devil. The Tower. The Star. Gorgeous. The Moon. And I'm not sure whether you can see here, but there's 2 people underneath sort of dancing, and that's more a release card. To live a more sort of instinctual rather than talk to anxiety. Maybe this is a talk of, you know, releasing the subconscious, what's been repressed, and just let go a bit, have a little bit of lunacy. See, each card, that's what I try to explain quite often. Each card in each deck, it has a million meanings. They really do. That's why it's a never-ending journey to learn them all, or to get something out of it. But it's not the same. Like, I don't read that moon in terms of fear and being overwhelmed. I see that as a sort of more positive moon card. But if you go to the Fountain Tarot and you see that black and white moon with those two pillars beside it, and it's got a film noir aspect too in terms of the black and whiteness of it, like one of those 1940s crime thrillers where there's, you know, double crosses and betrayals and all sorts of things. That's the type of moon card that is. So that does speak to fear and potential disillusionment and not having the truth. This doesn't speak like that to me. The Sun. And he's got a little mustache here. Interesting. And be careful because there's a volcano smoking in the background. So the Sun here could also speak of temperament, of the Sun and the Leo temperament, of the potential explosions and the lack of centeredness and the lack of logic that can come with that fire, all that fire and energy that needs the Strength card to tame it. So, I mean, it's idyllic, but you can see in the background, you've got that, you know, perhaps not. Judgment, the grand eye, the collective rebirth of a more spiritual collective. The world, so, and then the world. So you've got the egg again, and you've got the yogi sitting in the middle, sort of in that yoga position, and you've got the four. Here it's all air element rather than anything else. But we're going to do one throw now, and let's see what comes out with the tarot schematic, because I promised that at the beginning. So if you've stayed here, I don't know how long the video's gone, but I hope it hasn't gone too long. So I'll just take out the card and see what comes out. It was in order, so I'll try and give it a good shuffle. I'm not going to, I'll just try and get it a bit separated, but I think I'll fan it out really. I think that's the best way to choose it. Okay, let's do that without giving it too much damage. Now we've got the Emperor. There we go. All our deeds. So that's the card of the day, and that's the card, hopefully, of the month. So number 4. I'll take all the positives from the Emperor. The direction, the strength. Trying to organise my team. And people around me. I love it. It's a masculine energy too, so it's a going forward energy. So my sun's in Cancer, which is a very feminine energy. It's cardinal, I guess, but my moon is in Aquarius, which can be masculine. It can be directive, so maybe I have a sort of odd balance of those two very, very different signs, but finding themselves in my natal chart. But thank you for joining me today. We'll come back. I've got many other goodies I want to show you, but I guess at this stage, I could have shown you, I have got a few others, but I don't really want to go into those. I want to modify them first. I've got a few other 12 decks, and I might revisit this at a later time after I've done some modifications, because I think they need some work. But have a great month, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks.